Many people think you need to be rich to have an estate plan. In reality, estate planning can work for everyone. In many ways, estate planning is the final step in the financial planning work we do together. It's how you ensure your wishes and goals outlast you. Let's start by looking at what an estate plan really is. An estate plan isn't really something you do for you necessarily. It's something you do to protect your loved ones. It governs how you give away what you have, who it goes to, how it goes to them. Plus, it helps protect you and your children when you're most vulnerable. This includes making healthcare decisions when you can't, making financial decisions when you can't, and caring for your children if you can't. You might think that you can give away your assets and protect yourself with a full estate plan. Maybe you have a will and think you can stop there, but to truly protect yourself, you need a full estate plan. It gives you control. Without an estate plan, a wrong person might make these decisions, someone you don't want, from a wrong family member to a probate judge. Privacy. Even if you have a will, the will goes through probate, and anything that goes through probate becomes part of the public record. Probate is how we know the value of Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman's LA estate, for example. Assets that are in the trust bypass probate and stay private. Peace of mind. Even if you know how important an estate plan is, many people put it off because they're young or they're not sure who they want to fill these important roles. But this can be a big mistake, especially after the pandemic we just witnessed. You don't want to leave these tasks undone. An estate plan has some unexpected benefits too. Did you know that if your adult child over the age of 18 has a car accident or gets sick while away at college, their doctors cannot disclose details about their health or care to you without a medical power of attorney or a HIPAA disclosure? We actually call that a powers package, which we'll talk about in later detail, that can be provided for each family member. Here's a case for someone as young as 18 completing certain elements of estate plan. We just talked about your estate plan going through probate, even if you have a will. But did you know that this process comes with a fee? Depending on the state you live in, this fee can range from several hundred to several thousands of dollars. Even if you don't have a will, the fees can be even greater. When it comes to naming guardians for your kids, an estate plan gives you flexibility. You can name first choices, then second choices, and so on. This gives you flexibility if circumstances change. Say your sister moves to another country without your having to constantly update your estate plan. The main components of a trust are a will, the legal document that specifies what you want to happen to your assets when you die. The executor of a will makes sure that what's included in the will get executed as the name suggests. A living trust, which you control while you're alive. You name a successor trustee who will handle the trust when you die. You also name beneficiaries, your spouse, kids, charities, and so on. The best part is you can create stipulations in the trust. For instance, you can make your kids wait until the age of 18 to access their money, or stipulate that a beneficiary can't claim their share if they have a substance abuse issue. This documentation tends to be very long, since it has to cover every 1 in a million eventuality, even though most will never take place. There are also a few documents to validate the trust, move your assets into the name of the trust, and things along those lines. A medical directive, which goes by different names depending on your state, essentially names a medical power of attorney. This is someone who will make decisions for you if you're in a coma or incapacitated. You can also document your wishes so that this person has a set of instructions. We would call that a do not resuscitate order. Finally, there's a financial power of attorney. Say you're incapacitated, you don't just need someone making medical decisions, you also need someone to sign the checks. That person is your financial power of attorney. Often, the executor, trustee, financial, and medical power of attorney are the same person for expediency. Now the process. This might sound like an awful lot of work, but don't worry. Prosperity Financial Solutions has partnered with a firm, Encore Estate Plans. Now you saw their name at the beginning of this presentation. That makes this process very simple. You simply fill out the information, a lot of which I can pre-fill out for you as it's information we already have in our system. Now, obviously, that's if you're a recent client of ours. You make some high-level decisions about the topics we've discussed, who you want to get what, if you want to place any restrictions on things, and so on. Then, Encore creates the legal documents for you. Now, these plans are customized from templates that were painstakingly created by estate planning experts with years of experience, working hand in hand with local law firms to ensure every document meets state and local best practices. Now, everything is designed to optimize tax planning at a very high level and should work with your financial plan. Now, as you can see, the system is simple, easy to use, and it goes quickly. Now, what I do is I offer both the paper version, which is attached to this presentation. It's a fact finder for both single individuals as well as couples that you can print out, fill out, and send in to us. Or we have the online version where we can walk you through the system. It has pop-up screens that we'll talk about. So should there be a separate issue that's needed to be reviewed, those will come up when you answer questions in a certain way. The hardest part will be thinking through the big picture questions ahead of time. There are some legal questions we'll need to ask you. For instance, what happens if one of your beneficiaries dies before you do? What do you want to happen to their share? Encore Estate Plans explains the legal terms for this in plain English using pop-ups. These are available for nearly every question if you're using the online version. Or we can print out those pages if you are using the paper version and sending that in to us. We can print out any specific issues and send those to you. There's also a chat feature that puts you in touch with Encore's live support team during business hours. After filling out the information, you'll receive documents to review. Now, this can seem intimidating at first, as the trust documents can be more than 50 pages to cover all potential eventualities. However, each document comes with a guide. There's a high-level overview explaining what you need to review and sign, including what needs to be notarized. There's also summaries that explain what each document in your packet is for. Lastly, follow the instructions in your review page and start to sign and notarize everything. Now, we can provide access to a notary. We'll provide you instructions for the best way for you to work with a local notary. We have relationships with mobile notaries that can come to you wherever you're at. Let me also explain one key advantage to working with Encore Estate Plans. Once these documents are finalized, we can upload the documents to your online encrypted, password-protected account so that your legal documents follow you wherever you go, whether you're on travel or on vacation. These documents are accessible to you, your close family, as well as your physician to be able to follow your wishes. Big decisions and paperwork can seem daunting, especially when combined. So we want to take a minute to emphasize the positives again. You're gaining freedom by creating an estate plan. You are taking ownership and making your own choices. You're staying in control. You get to have a say in your future when you make an estate plan. Now, a financial plan can help you get to where you're going now. An estate plan ensures this planning and your wealth outlast you, and that you can help your family reach its goals even if you aren't around to see them. And finally, family. Estate planning is more than anything a tool to protect the family you love. It leaves a legacy for them, but it also protects them and provides for them if something happens to you. A time when they'll be at their most vulnerable. The fine print. Before we wrap up, I do need to cover a few key details. The first is I need to emphasize that I am not an attorney and that I'm not providing legal advice. I am simply facilitating this service since I think it's important to your financial plan. Encore Estate Plans is also not acting as your attorney or representing you in any way. I can't provide legal advice to you at any point in the process. I can simply share legal information and examples and help provide context, but I can't make any recommendations. Now, if you want to retitle your home or property to be in the name of your trust versus your own name, that is a separate process, and we can discuss the fees associated with that if after going through the process you want to go in that direction. And finally, I do want to assure you that these plans are state specific, since that's something I know a lot of our clients worry about. Now, let me take a minute to outline pricing. We've negotiated very fair rates with Encore Estate Plans to bring this much needed estate planning benefit to our clients and friends. Now, as it shows you there on the fine print, the wills package is $575. That's both for an individual as well as a couple. The living trust package is $1,495, and it's $250 additional per real estate deeds to process if you're transferring real estate into the name of the trust. Now, the powers package, we've titled it here, You've Turned 18, Now What? Is important legal documents every young adult should have. It's $250 per child. We mentioned that early on in the presentation. Those are the important legal documents that you should have on each child over the age of 18. Lastly, amendments in the future. Anytime you're wanting to make amendments or changes to your will or to the trust, it's a $250 flat fee. We hope you found this informational presentation to be helpful in providing steps towards a sound and prosperous financial future. We also wanted to offer this valuable service because it helps complete an overall financial plan. Now, Encore Estate Plans is a cutting-edge platform that simplifies and assists with the important estate planning process. For more information, please visit prosperityfinancialsolution.com or call us directly at 561-207-6213. Now, for those living out of the area, please call 866-656-2050. We look forward to being of service.